let me just tell you the people who joined today. What is Salesforce? What is Salesforce? Salesforce is a company who developed and cloud-based CRM tool called Salesforce. ఏంద్రా బాబు వీడు మళ్ళీ చెప్పిందే చెప్తున్నాడు అనుకోవచ్చు. కొన్ని ఫేసెస్ ఐ కెన్ సీ రైట్. కానీ నేను ఇది 100 సార్లు రిపీట్ చేసిన మాక్ లో చెప్పని వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. మాక్ లో అడిగినప్పుడు ఎవ్రీ సాటర్డే వి హావ్ మాక్స్. మాక్ లో అడిగినప్పుడు చెప్పలేని వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. రైట్. ఫర్ దెమ్ లిజన్ కేర్ఫుల్లీ. నన్ను తిట్టుకున్నా పర్లేదు, బట్ లిజన్. What are the cloud services? SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, right? The SaaS deals with the softwares, right? Software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Guys, the people who joined today, we will have the backup session. No need to worry about these things, okay? Just a recap, okay? Cloud-based CRM stands for customer relationship management, right? URL to create the developer edition. This is the URL, and we gonna create this for the new joinees in the backup session. No worries. And yes, coming here, like coming to the Salesforce interfaces, we have a classic interface and the lightning interface, right? Old, new, fast, slow, not graphically rich, but the graphically rich, right? Yesterday, these are the imaginaries that we have done, right? The companies, row, or what does it mean by company here? It is your organization. It's your cloud. Roles, profiles, we talked about profiles, user, and all. Okay. Users, we took few examples and we have done, right? User, who is an user? One who developed the org is a user with system administrator profile or without system administrator profile. There are certain limitations we'll talk about. Who's an end user? The one who uses the application. అంటే మనం create చేసిన application ని వాళ్ళు వాడుకుంటారు. There are two phases of your org. One is user interface, another one is setup. We call it post.com. Okay. It's your platform where you can develop the stuff, where you can develop the functionalities. It's your platform, it's your place where you can develop the functionalities. To create a role, this is the path to create the role. Actually, have you gone through the system? No? You please join in the backup session, okay? The people who haven't joined, who haven't gone through the offline class, is there or not? Nadeem, I suggest everyone to come offline. Okay, we have the offline classes. You can come offline, and it would be great to interact with people, right? So better you come offline, and we'll try to conduct this backup session mostly on the offline basis. Okay. Janal Bhatti. You also joined in the backup session. Anyways, you weren't there, right? So the people who haven't there, they can also join the backup session. We'll plan it as soon as possible. Okay. Right. In Salesforce, you please remember, in Salesforce, everything is standard and custom. Everything is standard and custom. To log in into Salesforce, we have a URL called login.salesforce.com. Ma'am, have you created the? Yes. Fine. Batch 11. Batch QT 11. Maybe captain. Right. as we discussed, we again have classic and lightning, but again we have something called post.com and your user interface. Okay, this is your post.com. This is your setup. Okay, this is your setup where you set some functionalities. Okay, where you set some functionalities, where you change the functionalities, where you can build the functionalities. Okay, and this app launcher, if you open any one app, that is nothing but your user interface. Okay, if you open any one app, okay, that's nothing but the user interface. Now we don't know what is an app. We don't know what does it mean by standard and all and all and all, right? That we're gonna see in the upcoming sessions. Anyways, I'm just making you aware of the interface. Okay, I'm just making you aware of the interface. Don't worry, we'll see each and everything one by one. Now here, this is your user interface, right? This is your user interface, and that was your force.com, which is nothing but your setup. Now to shift to classic, cat switch to Salesforce classic. Okay, this is your classic interface. Okay, this is your setup, right? When I click on it, see what happens. When I click on it, పెద్ద game ఫరక్ ఉండదు, just ఈ డబ్బా వస్తుంది. This is what we call navigation panel. This is what we call navigation panel, which help you to navigate whatever the functionalities you want to create. మీరు ఏదైతే functionalities create చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారో ఆ functionalities అన్ని ఈ panel లో ఉంటుంది. Okay, let's say you want to create a role, you want to create profile, you want to create users. Okay, everything you'll find it out here. Okay, now in the whole session, in our journey, we'll work on both classic and lightning, but during the session we'll mostly go with classic. You know why? And because this is your fastest version, faster interface. Okay, meanwhile we'll shift to the lighting and we'll also check the functionalities possible. Okay, fine. Here, right. Are we done with creating of orgs, creating of roles? Right, new joinees, I'm coming up again. Will tell you what is an org and how to do the org and what is a role in the backup session. No worries. Okay, so here we have, right, I ask you people to observe the differences between these two profiles, right? System admin and standard platform user profile. Have you guys did that? Anybody did? Anybody tried to observe? That's what you find.
You have the permission to check the data and to create the function. And whereas standard, they will only use the data created by the system admin, and they will have lesser permissions to access the data when compared to the system admin.
Right. You know, these two are again the standard profiles. Okay, so here the differences is system admin can do anything, he has every permission, whereas standard platform user don't have any permissions when compared to system administrator. Okay, that what permissions and all we're gonna see. Okay, now there's a simple question for you people. First, let's say you are using your laptop. Okay, and now you want to upgrade your RAM. RAM 2 GB undi, danni 4 GB kinda marchali. Okay, can you do that while using your laptop? Laptop vaartu RAM change cheyagalama manam? Can we do that? No, right? You have to stop your work, open the laptop, and then you have to make changes. right? Similarly, here in Salesforce, this is your org. We just discussed, okay, user as a system admin or developer. So user as a user, developer, admin or developer, you know, they are supposed to they are supposed to build functionalities, right? They are supposed to build they are supposed to build the functionalities. Okay. Whereas end user use the functionalities, right? Admin and developer will build the tool, whereas end user will use the tool, right? Now the same example, you cannot change your RAM while using your laptop, right? Similarly, you cannot change the functionalities while using the org. Okay, when you are using the org, when your end user is using the org, you cannot make a changes into your org. Okay, this person, right? To avoid such things, we have something called sandbox. We have something called sandbox. Yeah, sorry. So for boys, let's say obviously for both the genders, you know, you guys are riding. Let's imagine you guys are riding a bike. Okay, now you want to make some changes in your bike in the same way you cannot do, right? By while riding, you cannot make the changes. You cannot change your indicators, right? You cannot change your horn and all. One all silencers changes bullet में, right? Modify చేసుకుంటే show, right? You can't do that while riding. In the same way, you cannot do changes in the org while your end user is using your org. Okay. For that, we have something called sandbox. Okay. And we have something called production. Okay. We have something called sandbox. We have something called production. Okay. Now, your end user will use production. Your end user will use production, whereas I believe it is visible, right? Whereas as an admin or the developers uses the sandbox. Okay, so that people can use the production, end user can use the production, and we can build the functionalities together. Okay, right? Your client should not face the issues. He should not stop his work. He should not stop providing the services to their customer, right? For that concept, we have sandbox. Okay. Now, the perfect definition of the sandbox could be a copy of your production environment. A copy of your production environment. Which one? Why the purpose of sandbox you're asking? Right. So sandbox, we just took the example of bike and the laptop, right? So your client, let's say they're having around hundreds customer. Let's say they will have some thousands, lakhs of customers anyways. Let's imagine that they are having 100 customers. Okay. And now they are providing services to their customers. They're trying to store the data of their customers. Okay. And now they also need one new functionality. They will also need one new feature. Okay. Feature to build in Salesforce. Okay. Now they want to create one feature in Salesforce. వాళ్ళు ఒక feature ని create చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారు Salesforce, right? A feature ni they will create in Sandbox. Okay, so that it will not affect the customer service. So that it will not affect the customer service. So that your client won't stop working, won't stop providing services to the customer. Okay, they'll continue. Meanwhile, here Sandbox. So that's what the purpose of Sandbox, where copy of your it is the copy of your production environment. అంటే మీ ప్రొడక్షన్ ఎలా ఉంటుందండి? లెట్స్ సే ఇమాజిన్ దిస్ ఇస్ యువర్ ప్రొడక్షన్. Sandbox కూడా ఇలానే ఉంటుంది. Okay, now here which is a copy of your production environment, okay, used to build or develop the functionalities, let's say functions, okay, functions or features, whatever you can say, to build or develop the functions and test the functions. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక క్రియేట్ చేయమన్నాను. లెట్స్ సే ఇఫ్ ఐ ask you people to create something. నిన్ననే చెప్పా 5 చేయండి అని, చాలా మంది చేయలేరు అనుకుంటా, రైట్? సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటి, వాట్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ హియర్ ఇస్, if I ask you people to build something, okay, let's say you build, okay, without testing it, how can I allow, right? I should be aware, right? Let's say I'm your client, okay, and I'm asking you people to build something, okay. Now you did your best and you created one vada pav and put in front of me, okay. Now I should check it out, I should test it out, and then will allow to move it to the production. Okay, whenever your client satisfied with your work, with the functionalities he is asking you to develop something, right? You have developed it, okay. Whenever your client sees your features, your development, and if he is satisfied, if he is tested it out, then we'll move it to the production. Okay, a feature ni తీసుకుపోయి మనం production లో పెడతాం. We'll take the features to the production environment. Okay, so Sandbox is your copy of the production, and we will create, build or develop features in the Sandbox only in the Sandbox. And Sandbox we use it to testing and training purpose. Okay, testing, let's say mostly for the testing purpose. Okay, right? Create చేసి దాన్ని టెస్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. We can create it and we can test it out in the Sandbox, and then if everything goes well, then we'll deploy into the production. Okay, it's clear, it's very simple. See, let me write down one cycle. You are getting the requirement. You're getting the requirements, okay. Now followed by you are building the requirement. Let's say you are creating the requirement. Okay, requirements means your client is asking you to do something, they required something, okay, and you are here, you are creating that needs of your client, okay. Whatever the client's needs are, you are creating, okay. Testing, okay. క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత దాన్ని టెస్ట్ కూడా చేస్తారు కదా, అంతెందుకండి, వంట వండితే దాన్ని చెక్ చేస్తాం, రైట్? అలాంటిది పైసలు పెట్టి కొన్ని దాన్ని టెస్ట్ చేయకుండా వస్తానే ఎలా పెడతాం, రైట్? సింప్లీ హియర్ ఆఫ్టర్ టెస్టింగ్, ఓకే, ఆఫ్టర్ టెస్టింగ్ move it to the production. Okay, after testing it will move to your production, where your end user uses the functionalities. Okay, that is what happening here. You'll get the requirements, read the requirements, test the requirement, and you will move it to the production. Clear? Right? Now, but sandbox panchayati ikkadtoti agadu. We have something called types of sandbox. We have something called types of sandbox. First one is developer sandbox. First one is your developer sandbox. Yes. Krishi, end user also uses sandbox to train the employees too, right? No, no, Krishi. End users, they will directly work on the, they directly work on this production of. Developer sandbox. The second one is developer pro sandbox. It is phone. Let's say this is your iPhone and iPhone Pro. You will get the versions, right? The same way, developer sandbox, and here you have the developer pro sandbox. Okay, here you have the partial copy sandbox. Okay, partial copy sandbox, and fourth one is your full sandbox. These are, and now these two, third and fourth, partial copy and full sandbox, these two doesn't support. Yeah. Partial copy and full sandbox does not support. When additions say maybe we know we have the additions, right? Again, I'm telling for new joinees, we'll see the additions too. Let's okay, let me tell you about the additions first. Additions of sales and pricing. Just to make you clear with the additions. Okay. New joinees, these are the 4 additions that we have. Okay. Apart from these 4, we have another edition called developer edition, which is your free edition. Okay. So this is for the new joinees. Please concentrate. Okay. This is for small businesses. Essential edition is for small businesses, and this and so on. This is for the vast applications, vast big businesses. Okay. For example, if you see here, this with this price, unlimited edition will have all the features, and whereas a small businesses doesn't require much features, so they will have minimum payment and the minimum features of Salesforce. Okay, features of Salesforce. They will have mostly very few features of Salesforce. Okay, now here let's see. So does not support partial copy and full sandbox. Does not support Dev and Dev Pro edition. Okay, it's supported to. It's supported. Sorry. Essential edition. Okay, it doesn't support to the essential or the professional edition. Does not support to essential and professional edition, right? Are we clear? So how, what's the difference between an adgar chumel? An adgar. Okay. So let's say మీరు చెప్తున్నారు కదా types of sandbox అని. You're saying that we have the 4 types of sandbox. So what's the difference between them? Okay. The only difference is the data size. Okay. For example, if you see, yes. For example, if you see here, developer editions will have only 200 MB of data. Okay. So that you can test only up to this much of data. Okay. Wait, coming to developer pro, this will have 1 GB. Okay. Storage, partial copy, this will have up to 5 GB of storage, and full copy, it is up to, same as your production storage. Same as your production storage. Okay. Same as your production storage. And another difference is testing part. Okay. Another difference is the testing part. Okay. So in this journey, you will get to know what kind of testing we do. Okay. What kind of testing will be done in full sandbox, partial copy, what kind of testing will be done in developer and developer pro. Okay. But to know that, you have to be aware of few functionalities. Okay. Few functionalities that soon after discussing that functionalities, we're gonna discuss about the testing part of this sandbox. Okay. So are we clear so far? So far clear? Nadeem, I hope you're getting it. Nadeem and Mallikarjun. So here, let's do one thing. Yesterday we have talked about profiles, right? Users, right? Now we'll discuss something called user license. Okay. User license. User license. What is an user license? If anybody knows, please. Yesterday, observe Chayman, right? Yesterday, I asked few people to observe. What you have observed? Let's see. Permissions, nice. See here, let's go to quick find and let's search for profiles. Okay. Profiles. Profiles here. Let's say all. And we are checking for this, right? This is the problem with, yeah. Here, if you can see, there is something called profile. There is something called user license. Okay. This system administrator is having Salesforce user license. Okay. System administrator is having Salesforce user license. Standard user is also having Salesforce user license. Okay. But these two are the different profiles. Okay. ఈ రెండు వేరే వేరే profiles. కానీ రెండిటికి user license ఒకటే. Okay. These two are different profiles, but they're having same user license. Okay. If you see this solution manager, this is also one profile, but having Salesforce user license. Okay. Salesforce is kind of a, this user license is kind of a category in which they will have multiple profiles. Okay. Multiple profiles. Now, here itself, we can see Salesforce is having 1, 2, 3, right? 3 different profiles. Salesforce user license is having 3 different profiles. Okay. Now, here the twist comes. Yes. Agreement between dev and end user. I didn't get your question, patient.
User license is basically the agreement, right, between the user and the developer.
Between developer and the user is that's not an agreement actually, but which defines the permissions. You know, user license is like an the user license that you are referring to is different. Okay, this in Salesforce, this is like an we define user, we give user license to, for a particular user to have one particular profile. Okay, for example, here the thing is, here in Salesforce, the thing is, you can have in development. Okay, you can have two users of same user license. You can have only two active users, two active users of same user license. Okay, let's say there is one profile with system admin. Okay, you can create another user with same profile, and that's it. You cannot create a third user with the same profile. Okay, two is the limit. Okay, so there are different permissions that we're gonna discuss now, depending on the profiles. Now coming to profile, what does it mean by profile? Generally, generally it is a set of permissions. Profile is a set of permissions. Okay, profile is a set of permissions, right? Now here now let's create one profile. Okay, now let's create one profile. When I see the difference, when I click on new profile, okay, what it is asking me, it is asking me to choose an existing profile. It is asking me to select one existing profile. For example, if you see, let me select Salesforce, sorry, system administrator. Okay, system administrator, user license is Salesforce, and let me create a copy of system administrator. Okay, copy of SA. Save. Done. Done. Now, if you see, this is your copy of essay. Let me show you. Let me edit this in the new tab, system administrator, and let me edit this in your new tab, copy of essay. See here you can see delete option. Okay, which means this profile is your, if something can be
Custom
deleted, what is this?
custom
Custom, right?
profile.
So yes, right. It is your custom profile. Okay. Let me edit it here. But whereas this standard profile, you cannot delete it. Okay. Here, this part is same. Let's compare these two. You can see this is your system administrator. This is copy of the system administrator. This is your standard. This is your custom. This is your standard profile. This is your custom profile. Now, if you see, this part is very similar, right? This part is very similar, right? Now, what is this about Ante? We'll see this. We'll see this once we completed the configuration part. Okay. Anyways, it will take more one session on that. So if you scroll down, yes, here, okay, right. See here, these are again same, right? These are same or not? Yes. If I'm unchecking this here, okay, if I'm unchecking this here, everything is vanished, right? There are few permissions which are vanished. Okay, let's consider these as an permission. Okay, consider this as an permission. This is an permission. Okay. Now here, am I able to do that? Am I able to do that? No. because you cannot modify this permissions. Okay, we'll discuss what is an object permission. Okay, I'm just showing the differences. You please remember the differences. So when we do objects and all, you'll have a clear picture on it. Okay, here you cannot make changes in the standard profile. Sorry, yeah, standard profile. You cannot make changes in the standard profile, whereas in custom you can do all the changes. Okay, you can make all the changes you want. Okay, that's the difference. And here also these things here, see, these things are fixed. Okay, you cannot uncheck it. You cannot remove something. You cannot alter it. Okay. Whereas here in the custom, you can do. Okay. You can make the changes, whatever the changes you like. Okay. So to create a profile, you have to clone a profile. Simple concept. Right? To create a profile, you have to clone a profile. Okay. Now here, today you have to, today you have to create 5 profiles. Okay, you have to create 5 profiles today. Profile is a set of permissions and unknown. What kind of permissions? What kind of permissions is the question? Okay, ఇది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి తర్వాత మాట్లాడదాం పక్క. Okay, what kind of permission is the question? Okay, here if you see, we have a user license, and depending on the user license, will have profiles, right? If you copy a profile, let's say here you're copying this profile, right? System admin ni manam copy chesam. We just copied a system admin profile, right? With the name copy of system admin. So what is the user license he is having? Salesforce. The profile that you copy will have the same user license that's the standard profile is having. Okay, the profile, whichever the profile you copy, you will have the same user license. Okay, for example, if you're copying this profile, let's say if I'm cloning this, what is the user license that I will get?
Chatter free.
Chatter free, right? Chatter free. Nice. Now, yesterday I asked you something, right? Yesterday I asked you people to check if there are any custom functionalities present in profile or not. How many of you did? How many of you did? For example, here if you ask me, let me go to all. You people also do this. You just scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. See here, you can see custom marketing profile, custom sales profile, custom support profile, right? Custom ante manam create chesedi kada అనొచ్చు. ఇది మనమైతే క్రియేట్ చేయలేదు, right? We haven't created this, right? That's why we say custom, in the sense something can be deleted. Okay, by default Salesforce give few custom functionalities as well. Okay, by default Salesforce give few custom functionalities like this 3 custom profiles which can be deleted. Okay, which can be deleted. Clear? To create a profile, you have to clone a profile, right? Now let's create a user. Now let's create a user. I'll ask you, I'll tell you what profiles you need to create by the end of the session. Okay. Yesterday we have created roles. Okay. Anyways, the new joinees will have creation of roles in the backup session. Okay. Here, if I go to users, search for the users, you will be into users. Okay. Let me create a new user with the name, with the first name. See, new user with the first name Faisal, the last name Khan. Okay. My name is Faisal Khan, by the way, for the new people. I forgot to introduce. Right. So here, first name is Faisal, last name is Khan. Okay. Email ID, let's say Faisal Khan @gmail.com. So and so on. Okay. When you press this tab, username and nickname, it will automatically take the username and the nickname. Okay. Now see here. These red lines indicates, you might have seen this earlier, various places, right? Mandatory, nice. These red lines make the purpose of this red mark is this field cannot be leave empty. Okay. దీన్ని మనం empty గా వదలలేం. Okay. You have to enter a value here. Okay. Now, if you see this here, are roles mandatory? Right? Are roles mandatory? Okay. Then role aim better. Let's say, okay. Let's say user license. The user license the profile we have created was with the name clone of SA, right? The user license it has is Salesforce, right? Salesforce profile copy of Salesforce, right? For this category, for this Salesforce, we have few profiles. Okay. For this, which is Salesforce platform, this is another user license. For that, we have only one profile. Okay. If you see this chatter free, we have only two profiles. Okay. So the profile that we took was Salesforce and the profile name was clone of SA. Okay. Let's say here, I'm not specifying a role. These are the list of roles, right? I'm not specifying the role and I'm just saving it. See what happens now. Right. What's the error here? Duplicate name, right? Your username should be unique. Your username should be unique. It's just like your Gmail ID. Gmail accounts, Faisal Khan and పేరుతో చాలా ఉంటాయి. There will be lots of Gmail accounts with the name Faisal Khan. Okay. But with the email ID is different. With the email ID is different, right? For example, here to make it unique, let me have some numbers. Okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. And now save. Save. Role mandatory, right? Is there any role here? No. Role is mandatory, but right? See. Here. Role is mandatory, but there is a value called none specified. There is one value called none specified, which will skip specifying a role. Okay. ఇది వాడుకొని, let's say I don't want to give a role. User is an employee, right? Okay. When I create a user, when will I create a user? When someone joins into the organization. Let's say I'm hiring Rohini. Okay. In my organization, in my company, I'm hiring Rohini. Okay. With the name Rohini and with the last name so and so, alias Rohini, email ID, username, everything I will provide you. Okay. Here I will enter the details of Rohini. Okay. And now her role is not yet decided. Let's say her role is not yet decided. So that I can skip specifying the role. I can skip specifying a role and I can save it. Okay. And I can save it. Okay. Clear? Clear? Here your task is today is to create 5 users. Okay. 5 users. Task. First one is to create roles. Sales manager, Okay. Sales lead, sales executive, okay, and sales intern. Okay. You need to create all of these role one below the other. Okay. One below the other. Okay. One under the other. Okay. I'll show this. I'll give some lights on it. But let me specify the task completely here. Okay. And then you need to create profiles. Okay. Profile called sales manager again. Sales manager profile. Okay. Same way. You need to create sales lead profile. Okay. Sales executive profile and sales intern profile. Okay. And intern profile. Okay. But here you need to make sure. Okay, let's do this like this. Let's create it like this. User licenses are important, right? For example, here, give it copy. Let's say here you need to copy. Copy of, let's say, copy of system admin. Okay. Standard platform user. Okay. Standard platform user. Same standard platform user. Standard platform user and intern with, and let's see what kind of user we can give. User we can give. Mm, Okay. Let's create it with the force.com. Nothing but the okay, anyways. So that's your user license, right? That's not the profile. Force.com free users. Force.com free user. As of now, I'll paste this document link in the group. Okay. The people who are in the group can able to access it. Meanwhile, the people who are not in the group, please for them I can't provide this as of now. Okay. Now here, third task is to create users. Okay. Create users. Create user first with the name. First with the name. Online. Let's say Krishi. the name Krishi. Okay. Username and email ID, give whatever you want to. Last name, make it last name as Krishi. Okay. Last name as Krishi. Name. Okay. Name, roles, and profile. Okay. Name, role, and profile. First user is Rishi of this here with the role, let's say this role, sales manager role. Okay. And the profile, for sales manager, we are going to give system admin profile, right? Two, second, let's say Rohini. Okay. And with the role sales lead. Okay. You know what to give the profile. Okay. Let's create another role for Muninder, sales sales executive. Sales executive, and this, you know what to give the profile. And let's say we have online, online, we have Shravani. So say Shravani as an user, okay. And the role is intern, let's say intern is the role, sales intern, and you know what to give the profile again. Can't hear. Deepa, am I audible online? Am I audible?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah. Deepa, that might be from your end. Please check. Thank you, ma'am. So here, this is your task, but let me put some lights on it. Okay. Let me tell you how to do that. As of now, since we are creating a user, okay, let me create another user. Okay. Let me create another user. Now, let's say the user license that I want to use is Salesforce. Is that available here? Is that available here? No, right? Why? What can be the reason? You guys tell me what can be the reason? Right, right. నేను అక్కడ క్రియేట్ చేయలేకపోతున్నాను ఎందుకు అంటే there are already two users with same user license. For example, if you see, system administrator is having Salesforce user license, whereas copy of system administrator is also having same user license, right? That's why it is not available. For example, what if I go here, edit Faisal, and here, if I uncheck it, if I want to deactivate it, okay, I just deactivate it, right? And I'm saving it, okay. Here, now it is not active. Faisal is not active now, right? I'm creating a new user. I am creating a new user. Did I got the user license? I got the user license, right? So unless your user is active, you cannot have another user. You cannot use that user license again. About to. Okay. Now here you see, is there any option to delete a user? Is there any option to delete a user? Done. No, right? See here, you can, once a user is created, you cannot delete them. Once a user is created, you cannot delete them. Okay. What you can do is, instead of that, what you can do is, you can make them inactive. Okay. First, you can make them inactive. And second one is, you can freeze them. You can freeze them. Okay. Now, let's see. Let me tell you that first. you people need to remind me about this tomorrow. Anyways, I'm going to tell, but again, we'll see that. Okay. User, a user is an employee, we all know that, right? Once created, cannot be deleted. Once created, cannot be deleted. Okay, once created, cannot be deleted. But we can deactivate or freeze a user. Deactivate చేసుకోవచ్చు, freeze చేయొచ్చు, కానీ delete చేయలేం. We can deactivate or we can freeze, but we cannot delete a user. Okay. This will be our interview question for sure. Can we delete a user or not? Okay. This is going to be an interview question for sure. Can we delete a user or not? Okay. Once created, cannot be deleted. Done? Right. Question, please. అది కాదు భయ్యా, ఇది రేపటికి. Right. See here, what I told you, we can deactivate or freeze, right? So what's the difference? What's the difference between deactivating and deactivating and the freezing? What can be the reason? చెప్పండి. ఆలోచించండి. Deactivating or freezing, what can be the difference?
It's certain period of time.
Okay.
We can't access in the organization.
Forever. చిన్నప్పుడు మనం స్టాచ్యూ ఫ్రీజ్ అని ఆడుకునేటోళ్ళం, గుర్తుందా? రైట్. అది పర్మనెంటా? రైట్. ఫ్రీజ్, is that permanent? Temporary, right? అదేదో పిచ్చి ఆటలు. ఎనీవేస్, మళ్ళా ఫ్రీజ్ చేసి మళ్ళా పిచ్చి పనులు చేసేటోళ్ళు. పిచ్చి అంటే జస్ట్ కెలకడం, గోకడం అలాంటివి. కానీ ఎనీవేస్, here we are doing deactivating and the freezing, right? Freeze means for a temporary period. You said ulta. Nice. You tried at least. That's what important. Trying is what important. Whether you are right or wrong, you're putting your efforts. That's what important. Okay. Freeze and deactivate. Freeze is for temporary. Okay. Freeze is for temporary. Okay. Whereas deactivating is permanent, right? Now let's see. This user, I made him deactivate, right? I made him deactivate. Editing, I'm checking this box and I'm saving it. Is that permanent now? We just discussed deactivating is permanent, right? It's just permanent now. Again, he got activated, right? Right. I'll tell you what's the differences now. Okay. See, that is for permanent. In the other manner, I'll tell you how. Okay. See here, if I go to user, okay, let me freeze this user. Okay. Where is he? Where is Faisal? Yeah. Faisal. Let me freeze the user. Freezed. Okay. Now, let me go and create a new user. Is there Salesforce? Is the Salesforce user license available? No, right? Let's say now I'm deactivating this user. I am deactivating this user. Save. New user. Now, is that available? Salesforce is available, right? So now you got the difference, right? See here, freezing means freezing again will lead you to have freezing again will lead you to have will lead you to have will lead you to cannot use the user license to create another user. Okay, you cannot use the user license to create another user. Okay, whereas deactivating them, okay, can able to create another user with same user license. Okay, can able to create another user with the user license. Okay, now see here very carefully. We just talked about temporary and permanent. Okay, this is the reason. For example, a user who's in maternity leave. Okay, a lady who's in maternity leave, or let's take another example, employee who met with an accident. Okay, I don't want, so he's on, let's say he's on leave for about 1 month. He's on leave for about 1 month. Okay, but in this 1 month, I don't want him to access Salesforce. Okay, in during this 1 month, I don't want him to access Salesforce, so I will freeze them. Okay, but here what am I doing? I'm not hiring someone else in that position. His position is still there. అతను అక్కడ ఇంకా ఆ పొజిషన్ అలానే ఉంది, కాకపోతే 1 month దాకా Salesforce యూజ్ చేయడానికి మనం ఇవ్వట్లేదు, యాక్సెస్ ఇవ్వట్లేదు. ఓకే, examples for the users who are in leave for so and so reason for a long time. Okay, for a long time. Another one is let's say a user who resigned now, employee who resigned now. Okay, and now he is lefting your organization. Okay, now I want someone else in his position, right? I want another user in his position, right? Then I will deactivate him. Okay, deactivate him. Then I will deactivate him. Then I will deactivate. You understand? Right? So the users are the employees. Ultimately, users are the employees of our client. Okay. Freezing. We freeze a user if that user is on leave for a long time. Okay. And I don't want to hire someone else on that position. Okay. I will freeze them. Okay. Another is deactivating. We deactivate a user when he or she left the organization. When he or she left the organization. Clear? Is that clear?